What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Pattay's Performance. Today in the driveway is absolutely one of my favorite snowblowers. Actually, this is Pattay Performance history. This is the first snowblower I've ever worked on for a repair for a fellow neighbor. 5 years later, every year, it always comes back. This will be the first time I am vlogging it on the channel. I don't know how I want to handle this because there's a little story behind this. But this is one of my best customers ever. I think he was testing me. And you know what? I'll do that in a separate video about how we grew our business and our hobby in our garage to something absolutely fruitful and extraordinary. We spoke about this on our lives the whole time, and you know, and we always talked about it, and I guess maybe we should make a dedicated video about how we became what we did in generally about 3 years. That's when 3 years ago I decided to let's take this serious. I've been getting messages about another YouTube channel, giving out some terrible advice. I'm not going to get involved. So the only thing I can do is give you the best advice and what works for me. As you guys know, I back up all my claims and all my stories. You guys see my Sell 'em Sunday videos. You guys see the screenshots. There is no fluff. I'm not going to mask it or hide it, and try and put a cloud over it compared to this other channel, apparently. So I guess we'll do that for another day. But this is important to me because this gentleman, fantastic relationship. I think he was testing me. And the reason why he's testing me, which is fine, I do not find it insulting, is that I guess another person in this community tried to make a false claim about another repair person in the area. They did not state my name, but I have an outstanding and phenomenal reputation. Actually, not in the town that I call home now, in another town. So, a couple people messaged me about this other inquiry, and Mrs. Pattay's Performance and I, I take really good notes. When I do repairs, name, number, address, machine, model number, serial number, parts for future reference. Okay, what the issue was at the time, what repairs that were done, things that I observed, and if they wanted to repair them or not. That will cover you down the line. That has actually saved me. Okay, he said that the snowblower would not start. Oh, so anyway, I'm sorry. So this person made some claims, and so I asked simple questions. What kind of machine was it? Do you have a model number handy, a serial number handy? I says, even better, do you have the customer's information handy? Because I keep all those records. And basically this person said for privacy issues, he didn't want to answer any information, not even the model and the serial number. So basically I said it's unfair to attack anybody with, you have no substance, you have nothing at the base of your argument. So person reached out to the page for me and says, you know, does this machine or whatever look for me? I says, the person's not posting anything. That picture could be something off of Google. I wish I screenshotted everything. I was at work trying to do a few things. Long story short, that person got deleted and removed. Not my choice that person being removed, but that's what the community sees fit, and so that's what it was. So I guess that'll be part one of our video, but we'll definitely do a dedicated video on how I and my wife, she's part of this, on how we grow. It definitely makes it easier if you have a partner such as her, but you can definitely do this all alone. Without further ado, let's talk about the snowblower. It's getting dark out, so we have to move you into the garage. Yeah, let's move you into the garage. And we will talk about this snowblower and why I absolutely love it. Oh, we'll talk about his test. He says it doesn't start. It starts. Prime for a good time. Choke, hold. So, doesn't matter. It runs. It's a-okay with that. So it is here for, well, it was here for a repair, a tune-up, and he wanted to drain the old gas out and put fresh gas in. This is with his existing gas. I did this off camera, but I added just a little bit of seafoam to it and it runs. So I'm just gonna put my gas in there that's treated with stable, and you guys know I dual treat, so the seafoam is in there already. So if you're starting from the get-go, just put seafoam in there. Seafoam is also a fuel treatment, as in it will stabilize your gas to last longer, but it's also a cleaning agent and it works wonders. I use it all the time on the channel. I can't stress this more than enough. It is not a paid promotion. They do make a fantastic product. But how about this? If you guys are familiar with the channel, you guys can tell what I like about this machine. Maybe it's a stretch, okay? Those rims and tires are identical to what Mrs. Pattay's Performance and I have on our Ariens 1128, even our custom supercharged Hemi 420cc 1128, right? But anyway, let's get this thing in the garage. We'll go over this thing and let's talk. All right, so look here, Ariens, big boy tires. Believe it or not, this MTD has big boy tires. So I would love to own this machine. It's not the one that I really want, but beggars can't be choosers, and I would take this in the time being. And I don't want to hear you guys dogging saying MTD's crap. You guys have no idea what this machine is capable of and what it can do. Zero. Now, I believe, I'm not too big on history with machines. Look at those. Tires are identical. I believe that this machine was made in the interim of, is MTD going to be a quality machine? Like, MTD was a quality machine at some point, and then they just slowly urged to an okay machine. So I think they had this machine was built half in. I'm going to show you why. But I'm also going to show you why I love this machine. And I've talked about this before on the channel as well. If you know already, answer it in the comments, you better. If not, then you're just going to have to do or die. So we're going to go the back way on this. Uh-oh. I overshot it. As you guys can see, I just put something down, put it on the service position, and we are going to rest on it here. So let's get in here, let's get some better light, and then we'll get the model and serial number for you guys, and we'll go from there. Golly, look at those tires, man. I am a sucker for fat tires. There's a guy that asked me about, he wanted to do smaller tires on his snowblower because it's hard to steer. I had to remind him that Mrs. Pattay's Performance owns the same machine and doesn't struggle. And I said water is better. And that's that. Anyway, model number is 31 A as in Alpha, E as in Edward, 660, G as in George, 022. Serial number 1, G as in George, 1, 00, B as in boy, 30115. That will be in the description. God, I love this machine. All right, so as you guys can see, I've been in here before. These bolts on the belly pan are not original, but these are. Original, not original. 7/16 fasteners. So we will undo the, one thing. All right, so check out this, because I've been servicing this for so long. Look at that, nice and easy. Look at this. Wow. Look at that. So even though this slides off nice and easy, I do this every time. I'm actually probably going to make a video on this. The first thing you do when you buy a brand new snowblower, please pull off the tires and put grease on there. Look at that. Look at that, like butter. Like butter. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I filled it up with gas. I forgot when I tip it over, it leaks. Let me get some plastic. Alrighty, so we're gonna remove the belly pan, and then probably when I remove the belly pan, that is going to expose. Bless you, Mrs. Pattay's Performance. I can hear her sneezing. Oh Lord, Corona. Hey! Go to the doctor. Anyway. 3/8. Let me show you something else I've been serving. Oh, can the camera pick that up? Let me see what you guys see this. See how those bolts came out nice and easy? Come on, come on. Oh camera, oh camera. Please pick this up. And I took the focus off. Where can you guys pick this up? These bolts have a silver hue to it. You wanna know why? Anti-seize is on there. And that's a reason why they come off so easy. And not fighting me every step of the way. Oh. And then now we will move on to the bolts that I put in. And inside here, we shall see why I love this machine. Why I love this machine. You ready? So here, I clean this out. You can see how much belt wear he has. Practically none. We haven't had good snow in 2 years. But no matter what, he wants it serviced. And I'm okay with that. So let's see. Like I said, this was my first repair. I remember this machine inside and out. He had one issue. It wouldn't start. This carburetor, I was actually able to clean and get it running. I made a couple adjustments and it's good to go. It's been running ever since. Repair-wise, or while I was in there, I found that his friction disc right here was worn and cracked and terrible, and he had a drive pin that snapped, and I want to see if that pin is still in here. Yep. I don't know why that pin snapped, but we took care of it. Very simple, just another roll pin. So anyway, let's see. All right, so this is the friction disc. This is what controls your transmission. Let me get a good shot, and then when you get closer, we'll talk about why I love this machine. This is your friction disc. This is basically your clutch on a car. This is what propels the wheels. Right here is basically your flywheel like a car. This is a surface plate. This is spinning all the time, non-stop. When you engage your cable to drive, it plants this friction disc down. I'm sorry. The flywheel moves up to the friction disc and starts spinning it. As we go through the gears, it moves side to side. So as you guys could see, right, let's talk about moving parts. You see this shaft that the friction disc slides on? We are going to lubricate that. Okay, you see this sprocket, these gears right here with the teeth. I just like to put a little bit, I just like to take my finger full of grease and I just like to run it through a few teeth and then spin it and works its way. And you don't want to put too much because if you get grease on here, snowblower is not going to dry. Can you guys see why I love this snowblower? You have to look down. You have to look down. Let's get closer. And then that's it. And then we'll go through the rest of the video. This is why I absolutely love this machine. If you guys want to correct me if I'm wrong with this statement, absolutely. In my experience with snowblowers, I believe that MTD was the first two-flight to have a triple belt snowblower from the factory. See that? Okay. Up inside here, right below here, is your belt for the drive. You have two belts, and it's cogged nonetheless, right? It's cogged for the auger, which for me is phenomenal. Let's see. Let's see if we can get you a good angle. So what is the big deal about a triple belted snowblower? Well, let me tell you, it's the freaking cat's meow. We'll put this up here. I'll take you down and we'll show you. See that? Drive belt up top, two on the bottom, and it's cogged. If you guys are into performance cars, cog belts are the you know what. They are the good stuff. Have YouTube unfriendly language. So why is a cog belt superior to your standard V belt? Okay, these teeth, these ribs, okay, what happens with the belt? What is a belt doing? It's always running on something and it's generating heat. These cogs are like little cooling jets, right? Longer lifetime as far as wear and tear. I mean, they are made of rubber, so they're going to dry out like anything else, but superior quality, ingenuity, dissipate heat, more life to it. Why is a double auger more important? Why do you think? Right? You ever have a belt slip or maybe things seem a little bit underpowered or performed? You decrease that chance with two of these. Now I say MTD is the first to flight because from the factory, because I've never seen an Ariens. You guys know me, we love Ariens, right? There's no question about it. Ariens, if you want a triple belt conversion, I mean, wow, I just gave it away. If you want to do a double belted auger, you have to buy a kit and do that yourself and add it on. I have not seen an Ariens with the triple belts from the factory. They've all had to be converted unless they ordered it that way, an additional add-on. If you guys want to talk about that, let me know. If you guys ordered traditional Ariens with the triple belt, let me know. This is what it's all about. Extra throwing power, To me, you guys know I love snow. Why do I think MTD shied away from this? Well, look, 2 belts, 2 pulleys, it just comes down to cost effectiveness. Why does Arien's new line of snowblowers, they don't even offer a triple belt conversion? I believe Arien stopped doing that because technology has improved with snowblowers. Arien's makes an upgraded gearbox for the older machines, so that'll increase throwing distance and power just by changing the gear ratio. And the engines, the RPMs run a little bit higher since we are on a non-Tecumseh engine. We're looking at a lot of Chinese clones, and those engines like to rev a little bit more. So a little bit rev, a little bit more power. If you guys beg to differ, feel free down to argue and discuss any day of the week. Anyway, let's lube the shaft. Okay, so very simple, not complicated. No specialty tools needed. I'm actually not going to be using my grease gun. We're going to grease the shafts and grease all this stuff right here. You're definitely going to need a rag for the method that I am using. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I use chassis lube like for a car. There's no need to go crazy with your types of grease. You should be doing this every year. I'm just taking a little bit on my finger. Okay, because remember, we don't want this to get on the friction disc. And I'm just rubbing it into the shaft. Take it again, right, because I just did a little, and then now I'm working it around the back side and the underside of the shaft. If you don't want to do that, see, look, you just turn this cog and you spin it. You can do that yourself, but I want to reach. Okay, well, your fingers are greasy. All right, because we're going to be spinning this. This is what I was talking about. Right here. Just working into the cogs. You don't want to put too much, because then it's going to fly all over the place. And get on the friction disc. And then this is very important. Right here. Right here on the shaft. Like that. And do it to both wheels. Okay. Now, as far as using hard grease on your snowblower, for this particular one, we're done. So you can wipe everything clean, reinstall. Get out of my way. Get out of my way. Nice and tight. And put our C-clips back in. Our linch. So what I also like to do is I like to just put grease at the end of the linch pin. You guys see that those came out nice and easy. You're going to line up the hole and call it a day. Now this machine, you could decide to have steering or not, but that means you're unlocking one wheel and keeping the other. To me, that's very annoying. I just always have both wheels locked in. That is the customer to decide if they want it that way. So that's it, we're done here. When we were in here, right, when we checked the condition of the, when I was bragging about why I love this machine, these belts, not cracked, not frayed, we are good to go. Friction disc is an excellent help. These pins are still in place. Listen, if there is something wrong with the drive, it will talk to you. Now, the reason why I knew that pin was missing, well, was damaged, because I opened up the belly pan, metal came out, and I was able to trace it down. And then I wonder if you guys could pick this, if the microphone picking this up. See that? That little cracking sound, that is the grease running around. and it's good to go. If there was a lot of belt wear on there, I would just take a little bit of brake clean on a rag and I would just wipe this clean. I have a buddy of mine, have a very good relationship. We do the same thing. He likes to actually hit this with some sandpaper, fine, and rough this up so the rubber can grab and have more bite into the friction disc. Mrs. Pattay's Performance and I, and all the snowblowing we've never had an issue with drive like this friction disc getting hot and slipping. You know, we've had it where before we got a drip cover on one of our snow blowers, water would get inside or snow would melt and get inside and cause havoc. That sandpaper trick would not save that. Once you're wet, you're wet. So we're done here. Let's get this belt cover on, and then we will cover the next important thing. Well, it's in here. All right, we spoke about it when I took this cover off, but now we can put this to light. I don't know if one day if I should just do a snowblower, pick a snowblower and break down every component piece by piece. That might be a long video. I don't know. If you have issues, look at this. Anti-seize. This is very, very important. The reason why these bolts came out nice and easy is because we just put a little bit on the thread. Remember, this is your belly pan. This is probably the worst, one of the worst places to have hardware on your snowblower, except for the scraper bar, because this is going to be in the snow. And you know what's not fun? Snapping one of these. Absolutely not fun snapping one of these. And then, especially if this is your own snowblower, you're gonna really appreciate this the next time you take it off. And as you guys see, I put it every time I take it on, take it off. It's just cheap insurance. I know the anti-seize is already there, but Mrs. Pattay's Performance, she pissed me off, so I just wanna come in looking like the Tin Man and get it all over the place in the house and drive her nuts. That's how I keep her away. I get things dirty, and then she cleans and leaves me alone. So as you guys notice, see, starting by hand, I'm going to do that for the rest of the bolts. Alright, so these are snug down. Alright. I don't know, I just like to do certain things in a crisscross pattern. This is one of them. It's my Milwaukee M12 ratchet. This goes down to 35 foot-pounds. More than enough to secure your belt cover. Oh, see, the thing is how I started this by hand, instead of just doing one at a time, I know that everything is lined up. Remember, these are 3/8, and because these are aftermarket bolts, hardware, it's a 7/16. Alright, oh, let me show you what's a really rough place for a snowblower bolt. Right here. Look at this. This is your scraper bar. See what happens when you're not adjusted? You start to eat away at the bolts. He has a flat tire. It needs a tube. He doesn't want me to pay for me to do a tube on it. Thank God. I hate tubes. So I just air it up, and he claims that he airs it up every time he blows snow, but as you guys could see, that is not the case. But that is life. I was going to tube his machine at no charge for him, but I decided to do something else nice for him, and then he destroyed it, which we can cover when we put this down. So that was my one nice thing to do. Oh, he is also sporting a modified impeller, 5 years. Still in the original flaps. Very interesting. So let's get this down. Alright, so check out this beast in all its former glory. Actually, in the daylight, I actually decided that, you know what, let me just, instead of cramming you guys in the garage, let's finish this up outside. And believe it or not, Mr. Black said that all of a sudden he needs a snowblower immediately because we're supposed to get snow in 2 days. It is absolutely gorgeous out. I actually came out here in a jacket thinking it would be cold, and it is absolutely not cold. So, if you guys can see here, this is MTD's. Even though this machine is a beautiful machine, this is its weak point right here on the outside. No matter how nice this snowblower is, this is its biggest, to me this is its weakest link. But every year or every season, if you keep these straight and paint it so it doesn't rust and rot away, this machine will last you a very, very long time. Only once, part of my YouTube channel, I had a guy actually want me to permanently fix this issue. Idiot. And so what I did is I basically built a cage all the way around, basically using angle iron, and I bolted it up to here, and I haven't heard from him since. So he only came in, I couldn't upsell anything to him besides that. No impeller modification, no nothing, just the boxing of the chute housing. Because Mr. Black is Mr. Black, I will bang those out. You know, I don't, that's just, you know, Curtis, like I said, he is an asset to me and Mrs. Pattay's performance and our growth. He is the best advertisement we have, and a few other people. And we definitely take notice to that. So anyway, we're gonna run the machine up for a little bit and get this thing nice and hot, and we'll change the oil. Alrighty, so we have the snowblower nice and hot. So we're just gonna zoom right here on the plug, and you're gonna have to take my word for this, but you know how they always think of the mechanic or the person working on it last? We cannot get a socket on here because this blocks it, so we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna get just an adjustable wrench, and I'm using a pair of vice grips to stop it from spinning out the extension from the engine. So that's what we're going to do. There you go. That's nice and loose. Just back it out. And look at that royal purple goodness come out. As you guys know, I absolutely love royal purple. It's a fantastic motor oil. When your snowblower, generator, basically any small engine without an air filter, your oil change interval is every 25 hours or your seasonal use. So even though I use a synthetic oil, I still stick to that regiment. Oil is cheap. What I like about Royal Purple is that it is also a cleaning agent, keeps sludge and all this other stuff building up on the inside. And it is a synthetic lubricant. And as you know, this engine is well over 10-15 years old. Replacement engines aren't the greatest. And I think if memory serves me correct, this one has a PTO on it. So, you know, we could swap a different engine on there. It's going to be a little bit of a chore. But the most important part is we get this oil nice and hot. So I run the machine for about 10-15 minutes. And that's also a good inclination to let me know if there's any other issues with the machine, right? Because there have been times, you guys have seen me get a machine running, and then I go to service it, let the machine run for a decent amount of time, and then other issues evolve. So this is also like your check, you know? Here we go. Let's put this back in. So, with the synthetic oil, maybe just like a car, you think you could get double the mileage of the hours? That's entirely up to you. If you guys are new to the channel, My wife and I have a very extensive collection and fleet of air snowblowers that just don't sit around and do nothing. We actually go out and we use them on a commercial level in which we do residential snow removal, right? 15 snowblowers ain't cheap. And I have to justify having all of these. But I actually changed the oil after a long day of blowing. Because that is, to me, cheap insurance. The oil is already hot, so why not just change it? These machines are running anywhere from 8 to 16. Most I ever did was 20 hours. Wouldn't say straight because you have to stop, load up, go to the next house, you know, and so on and so on and so on. And it's just the little things I could do to keep my Tecumsehs, you know, alive. Yeah, also, I've done a predator swap, but haven't really been able to utilize it due to lack of snow. So let me go get some royal purple and let's top it off. So to make things nice and easy for me, my typical handy dandy paint cup from Home Depot that reads in ounces. That is what I use to change my oil. That is what I use to measure it. And I use it all year. So this paint cup I use all year round. This HMS K100 takes 26 ounces, and here we are, some royal purple goodness. Now I buy in bulk to keep the cost down, and I know I go through a lot of it. Hey, 5W30, that's the same stuff you put in your car. So if you buy in bulk, got your oil change for your snowblower, a few other pieces of equipment, and your car. Now I usually transfer to a smaller bottle so it's easier, but this is almost at the very end, so I don't need to do that. So the cup comes up 24 ounces, so we're just gonna have to add 2 ounces when we're done. I already have the funnel in the machine. So we'll just give it some good old oil, and we'll top it off. And I'll add the 2 ounces off camera. Alright, so we have the machine running. Well, not running. We're done with the oil change. We're going to have to check it. So what I like to do is let's work this fresh oil in. Keep it in the stop position. 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is just my number. I come from a family of 5, so that's what I do. So now what we do now, throttle up, choke, we're going to let this run, and then we'll check. Well, we did have this thing running to get it hot, so choke off. Look how beautiful this thing idles. Absolutely amazing for its age. Alright, let's take this out. And let's check our oil level. Wipe it clean. Now see how old this machine is? The dipstick is actually colored. And we'll check it and we are good to go. So on a Tecumseh engine, it is very important that you have this engine oil right on, dead on the money, or have it a little bit over. All right, I'll show you the dipstick. See how the dipstick is stained? Okay. Let's see if I can turn on the focus for you guys. It's on autofocus, I just have to hit this button. See that? It says full. So you want to have it at this full level. A little bit over is okay. Tecumseh's, if the oil runs low, do not have it low. The rod likes to go through the side of the block. Let's not do that. Okay, next thing is spark plug. Okay, we are not going to replace the spark plug. Spark plug looks brand new. This is the original spark plug from when I first serviced it. So that shows you, you know, I wouldn't say how little it's being used, but you can tell it's stored indoors. If it was stored outdoors, it'd be all sorts of nasty colors. But that is not the case here. So what we're going to do is we are just simply going to just check the gap. Uh-oh, he has a little mess. Alright guys, so we're basically done here, right? I'm not going to bother with the spark plug. This thing runs phenomenal, right? We haven't had snow in 2 years, so do you think it needs a new spark plug if they're not being used for 2 years? Okay, there is a horrible misconception that you need to change your spark plug every season. Spark plug and technology and all that stuff has changed. Okay, if you're nervous, pull the spark plug out, check it for 30,000, set the gap, put anti-seize on it, and send it. I know this is good to go. Okay, I'm not going to adjust the skid shoe height on this snowblower because he says that he fills up the air every time. That's a lie. The machine will never lie. His skid shoe wear is very different from one side to the next, so we're not going to bother. Now, I'm not sure if I mentioned this in the earlier video, but he is a very good customer of mine, and I tried doing something nice for him. So when I first got the machine from him, I didn't know he was going to be a phenomenal person. But this cover was busted, and the light was missing. So the second year, I actually had a junk machine, and I actually took the cover off, and I put a new one on here, and I put in a new nice light for him as well. And guess what? Next year, came back busted. He didn't bring it up, so I'm not going to bring it up. So lo and behold, now, maybe next year, things play out well. Maybe I'll finally put a tube in his tire. We'll see how comfortable I get. Alright guys, tell me what you guys think of this generation of MTD snowblowers. Okay, you guys know my favorite part is the triple belt. Nice wide tires like the Arians. Okay, cheap oversight would be the plastic chute. But listen, this is a lot better than the Craftsman ones that we've had on the channel, that we actually replaced with metal ones, so that never happens ever again. These are actually, believe it or not, made of a better plastic. Most important thing to do is grease those wheels. Alright guys, I'm out of here. Thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out with me today in the driveway. If you guys found this video helpful, entertaining, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. Guess what? I'll see you guys on the next episode of Pattay's Performance. Later. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to an episode of Pattay's Performance. Today in the driveway, we actually have the first snowblower that I took in for repair, tune-up, and impeller modification. This is the very first OG one. I figure I would share this with you guys. Believe it or not, I still give him OG price. He is the best form of advertisement I've ever had. If this guy sees a post anywhere of anybody needing any repairs, looking to buy a piece of equipment, he immediately puts my name down. Obviously, you know, the growth of yourself and what you do is all on you. Because of the service I gave him, that's how he feels about me. But you should also be giving credit when credit is due. I know you guys have been messaging me a lot about another YouTube channel that's been giving out really terrible advice. And, you know, whatever. Originally I was not going to make a video on how to start a small engine repair business or hobby or whatever you want, but I guess maybe I should. We covered it in our lives, but maybe I'll make a dedicated video. Okay, as you guys know, we started this 3 years ago, and I'm busy. So, you know, I guess we'll start from the get-go, but, you know, I'll do a dedicated video. But anyway, this is one of my favorite snowblowers of all time. I know you guys got What Happened to Aaron's. I know you guys bleed orange. This is one of my favorites. You guys also know I'm very salty. I sold a snowblower that I shouldn't have from my collection. It happens to be an MTD. I'll put a couple of pictures up. Okay, this snowblower has the triple belt conversion from the fact, I say conversion because when you buy an Ariens, you have to convert it. So, this comes from the factory with the triple belt conversion. I believe that this snowblower was made in between when MTD was made with quality and when they were still made here in the United States and they were trying to reduce quality a little bit to remain competitive. Okay, because this thing has the famous bowing inside the auger housing. Right? This is infamous. I don't even need to zoom on the camera. See this here and here? This is a cheaply made machine. Only once I've ever had someone wanting me to correct it for them permanently. And what I did is I always hammer these out straight, and I built a frame around here for extra support. Now, how does this happen? It's very simple. That's from you going up next to a stoop or a driveway or walkway and just slamming it in there, which is no bueno. And then it gets bent in and the auger hits it and keeps it out. And you can see the marks on the inside of the auger hitting the machine. You see that there? So that's the only downside. This one has the nice big fat tires, like my Ariens. This is a beautiful, beautiful machine. The only thing this machine lacks, which I think it's not a big deal because my Ariens don't have it, but this machine should come equipped with power steering. Other than that, this is a great machine. A fellow subscriber of mine, Thomas Andrews, he has what I believe to be a very, very nice machine, triple belt conversion. He actually has a 1024. That's a 10 horsepower engine stuffed on a 24-inch frame. That is a lot of power for that machine. This is actually a 1028. If you want to go back, Ariens actually has an 1124, which I am hot and heavy for. I've been looking for one. Would love to add that to the collection, but we haven't had snow in 2 years. And I'm thinking, because we successfully hemi-swapped the 1128, thinking about if I ever come across another 24 blown up, I'll put the 420 on the 24 and I'll V-twin swap, the 670 swap the 28. I don't know, we'll see. But, so if you guys are in the market for a used snowblower, okay, this is not a bad machine. But to me, this would be worthless if it didn't have the triple belt conversion. Yes, you can get yourself an older machine, but there's nothing wrong with this generation of MTDs. This MTD actually says American made and American owned. So I wonder if MTD now is still American owned. I know it is not American made. Now you're gonna get, what do they say? Assembled in America. But it has a serrated auger. Okay, listen, plastic chute, not the end of the world. This plastic chute has stand the test of time. We have the Craftsmans that I work on that we always replace the plastic chutes because they break, or sometimes I'll convert it to a metal chute. Just your typical 6 speeds forward, 2 reverse. It's really not the end of the world. Okay, if this was my machine, I would probably drill maybe a hole, 1 or 2 holes here, or 4 holes here, or maybe even on the side, and I would stick my shear pins in there so I have extras right on the fly. This machine does take just 2 shear pins, so it's really not the end of the world. This also has dual wheel drive or single wheel drive, take your pick. Okay, this has linch pins on the side. Let me get this thing up. What I'm showing you now is very, very important. If you own a snowblower, do this immediately. Maybe I should do a video on this. All right, the first thing you want to do, this is the service position, by the way, is, I already serviced this machine. The first thing you want to do, so I don't care what you do, is remove this wheel. Pull it off and grease the shaft. Put it back on. And you're gonna thank me when you actually need to pull this wheel and tire off. You can go on YouTube, and I have seen personally many, many times where I cannot get that rim and tire off because it is rusted, frozen, solid to the axle. Just look at the stance on this thing. This is a massive, massive machine. So I enjoy it, I like it. I figured I'd just share this with you guys. And it's got royal purple in here. I started to make a tune-up video on it, and I'm like, why bother? This thing really hasn't been used in about 2-3 years, so I just changed the oil, greased everything, royal purple. I think he was actually, make sure it's not hitting the camera. I think he was actually testing me. He said the snowblower did not start, and it did. So I told him if it doesn't start, Mr. Black, you know it's going to be a different price. Yeah, I get it. So as much as he trusts me, we had a problem on a local community page where a new fixer, flipper, whatever, driveway guy like me made a post about a machine saying that it wasn't what it was made out to be, and a bad repair was made or whatever. And I'm almost positive it was an attack on me because I have pretty prominent on that page. I enjoy competition, I really, really do. But me and Mrs. Pattay's Performance, we keep excellent notes. I cannot tell you how we keep good notes. So when we take in a repair, name, phone number, address if it's a pickup and delivery, model number, serial number, what the customer thought the issue was or what it's in here for, what I found to be wrong with it, and if they decided to go through with what else I found wrong with it, or if they chose not to prevent other problems down the line. So he had a picture of the machine up. This happened so fast when I was at work, I wish I could have screenshotted this. So I chimed in and says, hello, how are you, blah, blah, my name is Jason. I says, I do repairs in the area, and can you give me some more details about the machine? I says, if you're going to slander somebody, so at least have, some proof. So I says, do you want to give the person's name, their phone number? Or they said, no, that's private information, which I understand. I'm like, give me the model and the serial number. Didn't want to give me that at all either. So what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean you're not going to give me the model and serial number? So you can't make claims or you can't slam an individual if you're just going to have no proof. That is like cannon fodder. I really hate to use this term, but it really comes down to fake news. And believe it or not, the admins of that page, without even giving me a heads up, they just deleted the post and they actually removed him. Whatever, his problem. Don't be that person. So, yeah. Tell me what you guys think of these MTD snowballs. Forget about that cheap Auger housing, right? If you think about this on a residential level, I would probably use this on a commercial level, but then now we're talking potentially a gearbox issue. But then again, the gearbox is very easy to replace. It's just a little tedious for that worm gear. Like I said, if you keep this thing serviced and lubed, you're going to be fine. This thing is what, 10-15 years old to come on there? So, it is what it is. You have to worry about what, valve stretching, not the end of the world. That's wear and tear. So tell me what you guys think. Tell me what you guys think. Oh, one more thing. See this here? I actually fixed this for him. I put a new one on there for him. A new one on there for him. And I put a light on there. And I don't know what happened. It came blown up, and he cut the wire. So I don't know what the heck he's doing.